If they hate your front line, your admin, your waitress, your front line, in the end, they hate you. How to fix it? Let's talk customer service. Just a moment. Welcome to the WorkHARDaholic Show with your host, the original WorkHARDaholic, Shirley Crawford, author, speaker, and small business consultant for over 20 years, helping you to work hard, play harder, and business better. Hello, 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 and welcome back to WorkHARDaholics. This is Shirley Crawford, your host, the original WorkHARDaholic, and what you want? Why are you here? Huh? If you came up to the drive-through window and that's what you heard, after you look around in shock and surprise, do you just drive away? I do. Here's the thing. A lot of times as an entrepreneur, as an organization, you have to know that the first person that they encounter, it's encountering you. You can't just say, oh, well, that wasn't me. If they represent your company, if they're walking around town wearing your shirt, got the little lovely logo indicating that they work for you, and they're out there cursing somebody out and talking somebody down and doing all kinds of craziness and creating all kinds of videos, that reflects you. So I know it sounds like I'm about to have a negative conversation about customer service and frontline and what that means, but actually, I want to go the other way because we all know bad customer service. And in the past, we've talked about some really positive examples. Like we talked about the whole, like, nobody does customer service like Chick-fil-A. I don't have to even say it. Like, everybody knows that if you talk good customer service, the number one company you're going to start with is you're going to talk about potentially Google. Especially when it comes to, I said Google. I didn't mean it. Sorry, Google. I meant Apple. Especially when it comes to like your geniuses in the store, the customer service is amazing. But we always start with Chick-fil-A, all right? If your company isn't getting those kind of reviews, if anything, you're getting complaints, let's go back to scratch. Let's start from the beginning. I want to start off with an amazing story that recently occurred. And for those of you who love to fly, I love to travel. And so it's amazing to me the customer service that you may or may not receive from an airline. And I don't want to be caught up in slander, so I'll start this off by saying this is hearsay from people who I deem to be very qualified in sharing hearsay. Um, let's just even call it gossip. That makes it sound better. Like, right, this is just gossip. Gossip backed up by lots of people. Okay, so here's the deal. For those of you who don't know, I have a nonprofit organization that does work in Haiti. I don't want to talk about it right now. Haiti makes me very sad. I don't feel like crying about it. So we're just deal with the facts. Started this years ago, 2006. I lived in Haiti, 2007, and I used to fly. Well, I had to fly, right? So I flew from. At that point, there weren't that many airlines that went to Haiti. So I initially started flying with American Airlines because they were one of the few that went to Haiti. Then eventually, for those of you who are now Spirit people, I am forever indebted to Spirit no matter what they do because they were one of the second airlines to really start going back and forth to Haiti outside of like Air France. And they had these crazy deals. And being a missionary in another country on a limited budget, those little cheap flights were amazing and wonderful. So thank you, Spirit. No matter what anybody says about you, you were there for me when I needed you. So one of the things is if you fly from Haiti, you normally come to Florida, and then from Florida, you go to wherever else you want to go. Now, I have been an American flyer for a minute. I've always enjoyed my American flights. The people have always been pretty cool. I've always, it's always been lovely. But I always noticed when I was flying from Florida to Haiti, the customer service on the flights was terrible. Like they were downright rude. And so I kept going, is it just me? What am I missing? And so on one occasion in particular that I always reflect upon, there was a woman on the flight. So she's a Haitian woman. And so she really didn't speak English. And she was really asking, I had two different experiences with older Haitian women. We respect our aunties, right? So there were two occasions where this happened. Actually, three, because one was with a Haitian gentleman. The Haitian woman was trying to find the bathroom. On another occasion, the Haitian woman was asking if she could sit with a friend. The flight was pretty empty. And so she was trying to explain to the flight attendant that she wanted to sit next to her friend, and she spoke Creole. I assume she spoke French, as most Haitians do, but her English was very broken. And the flight attendant was downright nasty. Like Janet Jackson, nasty girl talking about nasty. And so I came up because, that's what we do. And so my Creole has always been questionable, my French even less, as far as good goes. And so I understood what she wanted, and I explained it to the flight attendant, and she changed her tune a little bit with me, but still, she was nasty. And so I was like, if you can't help me, I'm sure the captain can. And so she gathered together. There were a ton of empty seats. She let them sit together. Then I was told there's a group that constantly travels that way. I was told in particular, once again, this is where the gossip hearsay comes in, that American had a policy to not be as polite on the flight with the Haitians. And I forget the whys. I do. Um, but I was really bothered. That was why when Spirit came to town, I was happy to switch. I have just never seen such nastiness. Here it is, not quite 20 years later, and I'm still talking to you about the story because those flight attendants, be they a mentality from the entire organization or just that crew or whatever the case may be, that story will live on for forever with me. And for someone who loves to travel, I will not be spending my dollars with American. That is what happens with customer service. Okay, so if you want to learn more about, a good customer service story, and to also learn how you can have customer service stories become viral for you, or some tips you want to remember so that your front line can really be the front line for your victory and not your failure, stay tuned after this commercial break.
Listen, attorney Alex Taylor is a soldier in a suit, defending anyone with criminal charges, DUIs, and more. Call Alex Taylor, your soldier in a suit, at 804-500-5000.
I'm Alex Taylor. Don't face your criminal charges alone. Put a former prosecutor with 30 years of experience on your side. Let me show you how a soldier fights for your freedom.
Call 804-500-5000 or go to alextaylorlaw.com.
Ladies, are you looking to move your office from your kitchen table to a space of your own? Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Are you looking for co-working and community? Well, then come join us at the Women's Business Center, RVA, located at 1510 Willow Lawn Drive, Suite 100, directly across the street from the Kroger at Willow Lawn. Visit us on the web at wbcrva.com or on social media at WBCRVA.
Wouldn't it be convenient and safe to communicate with your dentist, pediatrician, medical doctor, or mental health professional anywhere you are without actually traveling to our medical centers?
Well, you can with a televisit at your local Capital Area Health Network. Call us at 780-0840 or
go to cahealthnet.org.
Find out how a televisit may be your best option. We are the Capital Area Health Network, the heart of the community.
During these challenging times, Richmond Dentistry for Children wants to remind you that we've been here for you and your children for over 25 years. Your child's body is their temple and their teeth are the doorway to good health. We provide compassionate pediatric dental care Monday through Friday. Call 804-780-2888 for your appointment or come to our office at 300 West Broad Street. RichmondDentistryForChildren.com, serving Central Virginia. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, now it's time for fashion and entrepreneurship with Ashley Jefferson.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fashion and Entrepreneurship. I am your host, Ashley Jefferson, owner of Very Ashley and publisher of VA Style Magazine. And today, I want to talk about Ralph Lauren. Ralph Lauren, the iconic American designer, is going to be showcasing his new collection at New York Fashion Week, Fall, Winter, and September 8th to be exact. Now, why is this important? It's important because this is actually his first fashion show that he's showing at Fashion Week since the pandemic, or 2019, which is actually just before the pandemic. I want to talk about this because for two things. Sometimes it's really important to take a break in your business. Not necessarily to stop running your business, but maybe to stop the promotions, stop overworking yourself. It's kind of a thing where you kind of just need to pause sometimes and just try to focus on what's important. get things together, self-correct, and then come back when you're ready or when you sense the market and see things have changed. So here's the thing about New York Fashion Week. Fashion Week, all of them are actually they're huge industry events that happen twice a year all over the world. But this is where designers, buyers, boutique owners, journalists, anybody who is anybody in the fashion world, they come together to see the next collections. And it is during Fashion Week that we decide which styles will be trending at that moment or even up to 6 months from them. It would seem as if any brand would want to be there because that is where all of the industry elites will be. That is where the tastemakers are going to be. That's where the decisions for the fashion world are going to be during that week. But Ralph Lauren actually didn't go for quite a few years since 2019, September of 2019 to be exact. And I think that was an amazing thing for him to do because during that time, he was able to kind of laser focus on his brand, how he wanted to change the brand or redirect the brand. It's a classic brand. People could argue and say he doesn't need it, but I want you to focus what he did onto yourself. If you know who you are and you need to pivot in some way, it may be good to do that by just taking a pause, taking a break. If there is some big thing in your industry or some big thing in your field of work, take a moment and say, do I need to attend? Should I make sure I have all my ducats in a row before I go, before I present myself or reintroduce myself to the world? I'm going to say yes. Every now and again, you need to take a pause and look through your business from top to bottom. While you're doing this pause, you do not need to actually change anything as far as your daily structure. You don't need to close down your store. But if there's anything major or if there's anything that you need to promote, maybe you can stop all that and actually put your finger on the pulse of your business, checking all systems. Is everything going okay or not? It may seem like I'm kind of contradicting myself, but there is a very small innuendo here that I'm trying to say you can continue to run your business, but maybe not promote it if you don't feel that everything is in alignment. And I guess that's where we're coming through. We're coming to a space where we need to make sure that our businesses are consistently in alignment within itself and within yourself, the owner. So I applaud Ralph Lauren for taking those steps to say, hold on, we're not going to present ourselves to the world for a few years, like 4 or 5 years. And then we're coming back out now in September, which would be 4 years since this last show. And we're coming back now with a bang. It's better to always come with a bang than to just throw anything out. And I guess, you know what, you guys, when you're a small business owner, sometimes you just really have to always do your hardest, go all out, that one thing, save that content from that thing and repurpose that until you can take a pause and then you can come back out and boom, do another thing, as opposed to all these little bite size, just randoms. I hope I was able to explain that well enough to you, but if I wasn't, this is what I need you to do. I want you to find me online at shopveryashley.com. That's the website, at shopveryashley, all social medias. You can even send me an email, ashley@shopveryashley.com, and I would love to explain this to you more. I am Ashley Jefferson, the host of Fashion and Entrepreneurship right here on WorkHARDaholics.
And coming up next, we have financial news you can use from Lawrence Roberts.
Hello, I'm Lawrence Roberts with Financial News You Can Use. Today, earlier we was talking about life insurance, the importance of having life insurance, some of the myths surrounding life insurance. Well, the sad fact is life insurance is a very important piece of your financial portfolio. It can help you, it can help your family, it can do a lot of different things for you. The sad part about it is very few people fully take advantage of it. It doesn't matter how high I talk, what chair I stand on, or how high the mountain I shout from. There are still a large number of Gen X's that don't have life insurance for whatever reason. So I'm gonna read this here little excerpt really quickly for you. Okay, purchasing life insurance in your 20s and 30s may not be the top of mind. We already know that. We're young then. I say that because I was there once. I was in my 20s once. I was in my 30s before too. Okay? You're probably focused on paying off student loan debt. Some of you may have some of that. I didn't have no student loan debt. I'm one of the lucky ones. I had it for a little bit, but hey. Student loan debt meeting basic daily expenses, but it still is something you want to consider adding to your financial strategy. Just like I said earlier. It's not the end all be all, it's a part of your financial portfolio, okay? In fact, a 2022 survey conducted by New York Life Wealth Watch found that Gen Zers, 53% and millennials, 47%, are the generation is most likely to plan on making changes to their investment portfolio or strategy. The same study also revealed that women and Gen Xers felt less financially confident than other demographic cohorts. What does that really mean? Many people feel unconfident or have questions about it. What types do I need to get? Is it really important to me? Do I really need it? All those different things. So I got some questions here that people have sent in, and I just kind of put them on a 3x5 card. I want to address some of those different things. That way, hopefully I can educate someone, okay? That's what it's about. You being educated, you can make an informed decision. That's the only way you can make an informed decision is through education. Well, this first person, I'm healthy. I live at home with my parents. Why should I get life insurance? I'm 25 years old, no children. Well, I can give you all different reasons on it, but why not? Do it while you're young and healthy. As we stated earlier in previous episodes, it's less expensive. That's like buying something expensive now for a discount. You're getting it on discount right now. That's what that's about, okay? How does life insurance benefit me while I'm living? Fine. Yes, life insurance is just that, it's life insurance. But how can it benefit you while you're living? You're growing income tax-free. You're growing wealth tax-free. It allows you to be more aggressive in some of your other things that you do in your other investments. It's all dependent on how you set it up, how it's designed, and what your goal is. But again, we all have to have goals on certain things too. And also be able to afford those different things to meet those goals. This is a very good and important question because many people have this question. What type of life insurance is best for me? What type should I get? Well, many things in life becomes price prohibitive, especially when you're just starting out your working years, in your 20s and your 30s, sometimes even in your 40s, because you have family then, you have little kids, you have children, you have other obligations. Price prohibitive means that, let's be real, I might want this big old policy here, $1 million, but I can't only afford this amount. No problem. Get what you're supposed to get and work it out from there. But look at it all as a totality of how it's going to take care of my family. What's important to me, what's important to my family, and taking care of them. What if I apply for life insurance? This is a very good question here. I'm going to slow this one down for you, okay? Because this is real. There are so many things that's happening in this country today, so I'm going to run through this really quickly, okay? If you purchase life insurance, what happened? You did the application, what happens? And you pass away beforehand, before it's approved, in a mass shooting. All right? You're still covered. Your family's covered. Your family don't have to go in debt, don't have to do a fish dinner or GoFundMe to take care of your burial needs. Again, these are just little things as to why it's important to you, why it should be important to you. I'm Lawrence Roberts with Financial News You Can Use. I can be reached at 804-746-3714. Again, also you can reach me on my website, www.lawrencevroberts.com. I'm with New York Life with Financial News You Can Use. Thank you.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And thank you to our sponsors who make this show possible. Okay, so today we're talking about customer service. I was just sharing earlier. I shared a story about some experiences that I had with American Airlines, and some gossip. Totally hearsay. I did not see any record to document any of that information, but sharing it anecdotally. But that's what happens, right? We have word of mouth, we have social media. Like, your presence is out there. And if people have a negative impression about your employees, about your policies, about what they see when they first walk in the front door, that's going to impact business. So, on the other end of that, as far as airline stories go, I want to share this story that was shared by Inc., the magazine. And they were sharing a story about Delta, which I have, believe it or not, out of all the flying I've done, I just flew Delta for the first time coming back from Hawaii. It was an amazing experience. I was so surprised. And I was also trying to figure out, like, why have I never flown Delta? I have no idea. It was an amazing experience. So when I saw this story, it made sense to me. And I'm sure there are others out there who are doing the same. But here is what can happen with good customer service. So here it is. They didn't pay for this article. They didn't do any of those things. They didn't pay for me to tell you about this story. But good customer service always wins out. So there's this newlywed couple, the Philwalks. They were coming from Detroit, going to Puerto Rico for, I believe, their honeymoon. And they had to get to Puerto Rico to get their cruise and to go from there. That's what they were doing. So as it turns out, these people are clearly like me. They get on the plane and realize they left their passport. If I have not told you why it is, I know exactly how to get an emergency passport. I promise you, I know how to get an emergency passport. I've unfortunately had to do it a few times. So they were trying to figure it out, because if you know how it is with connecting flights, you got to get the cruise. If you miss one, you miss all, and it's a wrap. So they are, upset. Of course, that makes perfect sense. And one of the flight attendants makes a decision. Comes up with this brilliant idea. And so what they do is they tell the Philwalks, hey, if you can get someone to bring your passport to the airport in Michigan or wherever they were, Detroit, Michigan, if you can get someone to bring your passport there, we'll get it to where we're landing, and then you'll be able to have it. We'll get it to Puerto Rico, and you can have it in time for your cruise. So they did just that. There was no supervisor coming screaming down, going, make this happen. They didn't give the we don't care about what happens in your life scenario. They really came up with a plan, and they made it happen. Because of that, it was shared everywhere. It was shared on social media. It was shared in Inc. magazine. And even now on WorkHARDaholics, we're sharing it with you. Because here is the deal. I am sure there are others out there who are doing something similar. I want to believe it. But how does that happen? How is it that your employees will know or think it's okay for them to take steps to give that kind of customer service? It reminds me of the Chick-fil-A story where the guy chased the woman down the street because she left her ID or her credit card. And he literally was running down the street behind her car to hand it off to her. And so, who creates that type of atmosphere? Who creates it so that your employees feel that desire, that ownership? How much of your mission are you sharing so that they understand the relevance, the importance, why this matters? That comes from YOU. If it's your business, do you own it? Are you the entrepreneur? It's up to you to set that tone. Are you sitting there going, well, I don't know how to set that tone. How do I make that happen? Come back after this commercial break, and we'll give you some tips on how you too can have the customer service that'll keep the customers coming.
Are you ready to level up your smartphone videography skills? Want to learn how to capture better interviews, content, and learn how to edit using Canva? Whether you are a beginner looking to dive into the world of videography or an experienced creator seeking to enhance your skills, then our Learn by Doing workshops are for you. Reserve your spot and start creating incredible videos. Visit powerupvideo.com today. Click Workshops.
Life can be a struggle. Find hope, healing, and answers at the Abundant Life Church of Christ, a place to encounter God through uplifting worship, singing, prayer, the preach word, and fellowship. One step can change your life. One step could shift your destiny. There has never been a better time to take that step than now. Come be our guest every Sunday at 10 a.m. at the Abundant Life Church of Christ, a place where you belong.
Welcome back. Okay, so today we're talking about customer service and how your front line impacts your bottom line. All right, so I've shared a couple of anecdotal stories about experiences I've had, experiences that have been shared, but now I really want to give you some tips. I want you to have the right type of customer service because I want you to succeed. So I need you to be aware of some things. And I'm going to start off. Here's some tips that were shared by monster.com. Now, love the jobs people. And then I want to share some other tips with you to add on to that to give you a really complete package of what you need to do and have in order to have the right type of customer service. Okay, so these are the tips from Monster. 1, mind your tone and use positive language. All right? So when I say thank you as opposed to thank you know the difference, I know the difference, and it matters. Okay? The second one, which I love so very much, take responsibility. So I hate it above all things for people to give me a bunch of excuses, right? And I try not to be the person who gives excuses. Like right now, I just did something really bad and I have to fix it. And so I can't work around it. I did it. This is a true story. I'm just not telling you the story behind it. I have something that I have to fix right now because I didn't do what I said I was going to do with something, and it's business related. It has to be fixed. I have to apologize. I have to do whatever is necessary. More than likely, I'm going to do a refund. That's the type of person I am when it comes to customer service. It's my fault. It doesn't matter that technically I could blame it on the federal government, which I could. It doesn't matter that technically I could blame it on the client. Technically, I have lots of people I could blame it on. The bottom line, though, the ownership is mine. And even if there were problems, I should have been the first one to see them, recognize them, acknowledge them, and share them with my client. And because I didn't give it my all with regard to the communication, I take responsibility. And the financial hit, all right? That's good customer service. As a matter of fact, that's great customer service outside of not doing the bad thing to begin with. Okay. Know your products and your services. I always think about, especially when it comes to like that front line. Where did I go? I went to some restaurant the other day and it was clear to me that the clerk didn't know the products. And so I was asking some basic questions they're like, I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can do that. And that wouldn't have been a problem if they had started off, either if they had a badge that said new or new employee or trainee, then I would have been aware. Or if they had said, please forgive me, I am new here. I don't know all that information yet, but I will be happy to find out. It's so easy to fix that. But when you have these people who are just like afraid to be wrong, that causes problems. Right? So you want to know, and you want your employees to know your products and your services. Be proactive and offer solutions. I can't really say how important that is. I was trying to think, there was someplace I used to go to that I don't go to anymore. And in part, it's because they just didn't take the next step. So they'll just say, oh, well, if you want to talk about 2 words I hate together, oh, well. Yeah, that brings up a violent desire to slap someone. And that should not be the way that your clients feel about you or your business. All right? And so you also want to make sure to use feedback and to make improvements.
Thanks
So
for
you
tuning in to
can't get feedback if you
WorkHARDaholic.
aren't taking
Support our
feedback.
show by
So
following
you should
on
be having
YouTube
customer
and all major
cards,
social media
surveys,
platforms
a
at
QR code, something to fill out,
WorkHARDaholic.
some way for people
Until
to know
next
it's
week,
okay to give
happy
comments.
entrepreneuring.
I recently went to, I love to go to Virginia Beach. So for my birthday, I went down there. And I think I mentioned this a couple shows ago. And I had the worst experience that I've ever had in a dining establishment. And the reason I'm not saying it by name, because you might have a different experience. That's why. I won't mention it by name because the manager made up for it. The manager had a heart and desire to fix what went wrong. And so because of which, although I will never go back to this establishment again, I will also never say their name out loud and try to, denigrate them. That's the difference. Like I could be using especially when I get upset, I want everyone to know. Like to this day, I hate American Family. the issue happened 30 years ago. I still hate them. And like for a while, I want my friends not to go there. I didn't want anyone I knew to support it. I'm over it now. I am, but still, it sticks. And it was bad customer service from the front office. That's the kind of impact customer service can have. Okay, so I want to talk about those were the tips from Monster. Mind your tone, use positive language, take responsibility, know your products and services, be proactive and offer solutions, use feedback to make improvements. And I want to very quickly share some of my personal tips about good customer service. All right. And the first, and I can go really deep into all these, but right now, which shallowly touching the list. You can dig deeper, or you can ask me. If you send me a message, DM me something, let me know that you want to hear more about it. We'll dig into it for another episode. One, you have to empower your employees. If your employees feel like they get more flack from mentioning a problem, if they get flack from sharing a suggestion, if they get flack from being wrong, and they're always afraid of being fired, as opposed to knowing that they're your front line and you are empowering them to not be micromanaged, to give them the skill sets to do what they need to do, and it's okay for them to fix the problem. They shouldn't always have to get the manager. It should be okay for them at some point to have ownership to be able to fix the problem for themselves. Okay? So you also want to make the mission their mission. Do they know what the mission of the organization is? Do they understand what you're about? So it's not just like clock in and clock out. Are they a part of the culture? Are they proactively displaying that? Are they an ambassador for you no matter where they go? Because people will always remember Sally, whether she's in your shop, in your store, or on the street. Do they represent you in every aspect of what they say and do? It is everyone's responsibility, and that should be the mantra. Someone was telling me, actually, no, I was watching TD Jakes, and he was talking about touring the Coca-Cola plant. I think it was. I could be getting it wrong. But he was saying he talked to a janitor, and the janitor, and I paused because I always trip about how people like put this like spectrum on like whatever your title is. But here's the reason why I thought it was significant that it's the janitor. They're not the CEO. They're not the COO. They're not the front-facing person of the company. They're someone that a lot of us don't even see because they're coming at night. They're switching out a trash can. They're there to respond to things that are happening, but they're not the everyday client interaction. The janitor understood the mission of the company. The janitor knew the history of the company. The janitor knew all these things, and it was embedded in them. That's how it should be in your trainings, your information. Like people that are employees of your company should be ambassadors and be fully ingrained in who you are and what you do. Okay. It's got to be more than numbers. So it can't just be, it's all about the ROI. You should be investing in your clients. You should be investing in your employees. You should be making that investment so they understand the value of what you feel about them, because that is the thing that's going to tie them over to the next level. That's the thing that's going to have them working that extra hour that you're not paying for. That's the thing that's going to have them out there being an ambassador for you at all things, right? I would talk about how for a while I used to say I had the GE meatball like tattooed on my forehead. I didn't. For those who don't know, that GE symbol with a circle around it, we call it the meatball from the marketing perspective. It's what it's called. Also, for those of you who don't know, NBC, when you hear the tone they play, dun dun dun, the musical notes are GEC, because GE used to own them. I don't know if they still do. I feel like they separated recently. But yeah, the branding is real, I'm trying to tell you. Okay. But talk about like years later, I still prefer GE products above all products. I don't work for them anymore, but it's still there, all right? They make you feel like you are really a part of this family and you matter and you count and all the things that you want to have for you empowering your employees. Last thing, and this is something I could go on for forever. If you receive a complaint online, if your employees are quitting and tagging you online, that's a whole movement right now, right? If there's conversation about your company, I've said before about getting Google alerts that tell you when you are the topic of conversation. The bottom line is, if you see that you are a part of the conversation as far as your company, your brand, then become a part of that conversation. And first things first, get it offline. So the first thing you're going to say is, we see and acknowledge that you have a concern or issue, and we'd love to talk to you more about helping to resolve this. Please call us at this number or give us your number and we will reach out to you to resolve this issue. We apologize for the inconvenience. Apologizing is always iffy, because then sometimes that means you're taking the blame. But the point is, get it offline, take that conversation someplace else where it's not impacting you negatively. Okay, those are our tips today. So once again, recognizing and knowing that customer service, it's your lifeline. So make sure you treat that lifeline the way it ought to be. All right, so as we always say, live better, do better, be better, and happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta. Like, share, subscribe, repeat. Like, share, subscribe, repeat. 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 Thanks for tuning in to WorkHARDaholics. Support our show by following on YouTube and all major social media platforms at WorkHARDaholic. Until next week, happy entrepreneuring.